is a presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are MC.
This is, there's a homer. That's a homer. George!
Yes, it is.
You are hot.
Stayed up. Base hit. Paulo Orlando drives in Cuthbert. He drives in Infante.
What a slider. He says, woo, what was that?
Bunt. And a good one. Uehara didn't kick it out. And he throws it away. Salvi to third. They're going to wave him home. Betts to the plate. He's there. High fly ball. Deep left field. Gone. Royals baseball on a sunny day at Kauffman Stadium. The Royals go for the third consecutive win today in game one of a day-night doubleheader with the Boston Red Sox. Royals baseball is presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Right stuff, low price, every day. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the ballpark with Rex Hudler. I'm Ryan Lefevre. Joe Goldberg and Jeff Montgomery are coming up. It's going to be a long day today, a day-night doubleheader. But this is a good time maybe for a doubleheader. The Royals are playing well, and just about everybody gets into the game in a day-night doubleheader.
That's right, Rhino, especially those backup players. Guys that don't get a chance to play every day, they know all hands on deck. It's going to be important for them, but you know, you can't play that second one until you play the first one. Their focus must be there.
Let's talk about a couple of young guys, and we'll call them guys from the Royals farm system. Our Honda most trusted players, Cheslor Cuthbert, certainly. He was signed by the Royals out of Nicaragua. Paulo Orlando was signed by the White Sox, but I'm going to consider him a Royals guy because he spent 6.5 years in the Royals farm system before he got to the big league.
And you should, because Ryan, both of these players, they are making a big difference on the roster this year. They can play multiple positions, all the outfield for Paulo. Cheslor Cuthbert, they're talking about playing him at second base and possibly outfield. But what they do with the bat is the most important thing, because that's why they're here and that's why they're in the lineup. Inside out, Paulo Orlando, both of them spray the ball all over. Last night was one of his biggest games ever. He really put an exclamation point with that nice two-run home run that went over the bullpen. It was a bomb. Paulo Orlando, with his speed, his defense, his hitting, has made a huge impact. And look, these players are going to help these Royals get to the postseason again this year.
How do you hit a knuckleballer?
Oh, it's tough. Well, what I used to do is crowd the dish, get up on there, because if they hit you, it feels like a mosquito bite. No big deal. But stay short with your swing because you have more control. The long swings, you tend to swing and miss on that ball that's fluttering like this. Stay short and attack.
That's what the Royals will see today in game one. Stephen Wright, a knuckleballer for the Red Sox. Ian Kennedy for the Royals. Joel and Monty will talk the pitching matchup when we come back.
first doubleheader for the Royals here since 2013. Joel Goldberg, Royals Hall of Famer Jeff Montgomery here all day and night for doubleheader action on Fox Sports Kansas City. The pitching matchup, Stephen Wright, no joke, not the comedian, taking on Ian Kennedy, who only once in his career faced the Red Sox back in 2010. Monty Kennedy coming off of a start where he gave up 7 runs. The line wasn't as bad, or the line looked worse than the performance. What's the biggest key for Ian today?
Well, regardless of the outcome, he has to stick with his fastball, Joel. He's got a decent fastball in the low 90s, but the real key, his ability to locate that fastball. No better example of a guy using that fastball. Not just the fact that he struck out 32 of his 41 hitters with that fastball, it makes his other pitches that much better. So that fastball key. And with Wright, as far as a hitter's concerned, don't get out of your game. Don't allow a knuckleballer to get you to a point where you lose your ability to be effective when you see a traditional pitcher on the hill.
Way back when, Monty used to throw a knuckleball, maybe not in games, and I don't know if he could have retired the red-hot Eric Hosmer. Ryan will talk about that coming up next.
For 2 games today. Hosmer in game 1 last night had 2 walks and his 7th home run. And if you think he's off to a fast start this year, you're right, but numbers are almost identical to last year. Batting average is up a tad this year. Home runs the same. A few more extra base hits last year. He had driven in 29 after his first 38 games last year, and the slugging percentage is almost identical. So Ian Kennedy would like some of that today from Eric Hosmer. We'll talk Major League news and notes when we come back. Red Sox at Kauffman Stadium this afternoon and tonight. Last night the Royals took game 1. Elsewhere in the major leagues last night, this is Chris Davis with a walk-off grand slam against the Rangers' Sean Tollison. That was the 3rd home run of the game for Davis, and was able to break out the jump shot with the helmet before crossing home plate. That's a first. Our T-Mobile greater coverage of baseball. So 3 home runs for Davis. He drove in 6 in the victory over the Rangers. Games are slowing down this year. The Royals made great strides, and other teams, in picking up the pace in time of game, but now 7 minutes longer than last season. And how about Clayton Kershaw? Clayton Kershaw in his last 6 starts has done something no other pitcher has ever done. 68 strikeouts and only 2 walks. And on the season, 88 strikeouts and only 4 walks. The Royals are going for their 3rd consecutive win today in game 1 of a day-night doubleheader with the Red Sox. .64 pleasant degrees, very slight breeze, barely moving the flags, so we should have a great day of baseball today. Day-night doubleheader with the Boston Red Sox. The Red Sox have the most 10-hit games in the major leagues, and it's not even close. But the Royals last night held Boston to just 8 hits. They held them to 4 runs. Red Sox had scored at least 5 runs in 8 consecutive games, and remember, they were coming off that 7-game homestand where they had averaged 10 runs per game. So the Royals pitching of Ventura, Hochevar, Herrera, and Soria shut them down, and now Ian Kennedy gets the ball today.
Yep, Ian Kennedy, he's welcoming that opportunity. It's his 3rd day game start of the season. He won the first 2, and now he likes to go, and I don't blame him. And he's got his good pitches working, his fastball especially, uses all 4 areas of the strike zone with that pitch. Changeup and curve, and the cutter and slider combination. 41 strikeouts and 44 in the 3rd innings has really been good. He's getting most of those strikeouts, a majority of them with his fastball.
And a fastball in for a strike to Mookie Betts, who was 1 for 4 last night. One of many hot hitters in the Red Sox lineup. Betts has hit in 8 straight. And the count is 0-2. Home plate umpire today is Brian Knight. Last night it was Bill Miller, who had a very pitcher-friendly strike zone. And at one point with that strike zone, ejected Red Sox manager John Farrell. Breaking ball popped up. CAIN comes in from center, and he's got it. One down. And the Royals defensively this afternoon: Gordon, CAIN, Dyson in the outfield for game one. Cuthbert, Escobar, Colon, Hosmer around the infield, and Drew Butera gets the nod for game one of the day-night doubleheader. You and I were in Ned Yost's office earlier today. We were talking to him about how he puts together his lineups, factoring in a doubleheader. And there really was no method to that. But when it comes to the starting pitchers, he just discussed it with them. And as it turned out, Edinson Volquez would rather pitch at night. Ian Kennedy loves to pitch during the day, so it's a very easy decision for Ned.
Yeah, and that's another great trait that manager Ned Yost has with his players. He's got a very good camaraderie with them. He goes up to them and talks to them like any other boss would when you're employees. You know, hey, look, I'm going to let you guys decide what you want to do, instead of coming in and saying, you're starting this game and you're starting that game. Big difference. Got a man there.
Right at Lorenzo Cain. So Dustin Pedroia is down. He had a hit and a run scored last night.
But you know what? But when it comes to the position players, Ned's also good at giving them a heads up, saying, hey, look, you're going to play in game one tomorrow. And then so they can prepare, like Colon, Butera. And that's another good thing for those guys, because coming in, like we talked about in the open of our show, the extra players know they're going to get in there. It's always nice to know which game.
Xander Bogaerts. Big curveball for a strike. Bogaerts was 1 for 4 with a single in his last at bat, so he has hit in 11 straight. Jammed him, and it's fouled away.
Kennedy filling up that strike zone so far early. 8 pitches thrown, 7 strikes. Attacking, a lot like Ventura last night. Ventura stepped up to the challenge. Let's see if Kennedy can today.
One and 2 on Bogaerts. It's not a big sample size, but you can understand why Kennedy likes pitching during the day. He's made a couple of starts so far this year during the day and has given up 1 run in 12 innings. He needs just 10 pitches to get through the Red Sox in the top of the first today.
Woo, man. Fill it up, Ian Kennedy. Bogaerts, you got to go.
First inning. Royals had a big night last night, taking game one, 8 runs on 11 hits, 2 home runs. Alcides Escobar drove in one of those runs, but the production really came from the bottom of the order. Hitters 6 through 9 scored 7 of the runs. Paulo Orlando led the way. He had 4 RBIs, including a home run. We expect to see Paulo in Game 2 of the doubleheader. Gerard Dyson gets the start in Game 1. All to face knuckleballer Stephen Wright.
All righty, you got a knuckler at 81 to 87 miles an hour. Or excuse me, 96 to 76 is his knuckleball speed. I was giving you the 4-seam fastball speed. He does have a 4-seam fastball that he'll mix in with the knuckler. Knuckler's a dancer. He has some late sink to it. Occasional curveballs. That was a knuckleball. Knuckleball again. The miles per hour, 69 to 76 miles an hour. It's a slow one.
That was a fastball at 82 to get his first strike in for the day. Knuckleball 85% of the time. And Escobar goes the other way.
And he will add and subtract velocity on the knuckleball. So it's not going to be an easy test, but Escobar stays with this very nice. That ball was over the middle of the plate, and he's short compact swing is exactly what he wants to do, and that's a good pattern for him and guys that want to get on base. However, Dale Swaim told me before the game that if you're a power hitter, you want to get up there and swing for the fences, and that's what he told me. He's had some success in his career as a switch hitter against a knuckleballer. Lots of times a switch hitter will move to the right side of the plate for a right-handed pitching knuckleballer just because it doesn't want to mess up their left-handed swing.
CAIN took an aggressive swing.
Yeah, so different approaches for different guys.
Because Escobar looked like he's taking a nice, short swing going the other way. But as you pointed out, some guys, they get right on home plate and they just swing for the downs.
Yeah, and that's what Dale Swaim, that was his approach versus Tom Candiotti, Tim Wakefield, Charlie Huff, Joe Niekro, Phil Niekro. He's faced them all. And as a matter of fact, we looked up his numbers. Dale Swaim versus those knuckleballers, 13 for 39 with 1 homer and 6 ribbies. So he had some success against them, and he's able to relay that information to these hitters. He said he liked to get up there from the left side of the plate, crowd the plate, and move up towards the pitcher some so he could get full coverage and swing like he's in a softball league.
There's a fastball at 86. 2 balls and 1 strike. The old axiom I always remember is if it's high, let it fly. If it's low, let it go.
That's a beauty.
And let it fly isn't just a swing, but an aggressive swing. CAIN lines it foul into the crowd.
Now when it comes to his holding runner's abilities, quick to the plate, he's got quick feet to first, got a little quick hop move to first. And he'll vary his hold time. Sometimes he'll go home quickly, and other times he'll hold for 2 or 3 counts. Escobar can steal. He leads the Royals with 8 steals this year.
Now our director Steve Kurtenbach just brought up a very interesting question into our headsets here. You, as a pitcher, I guess as a knuckleball pitcher, if you want to make a quick decision and throw to first, you better make sure you don't have your knuckleball grip.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah. But you know, Rhino, those guys are so good at moving their grip around in their glove.
That pitch was swung on and missed. Escobar gets second. CAIN gets first. Strikeout. Well, first base was occupied. So even though Escobar was running, CAIN is out. With 2 outs, CAIN could have advanced. But it's where the base runners were when the pitch was thrown. So tough luck for the Royals here.
Yeah.
Falling victim to the rules. That should be a stolen base for Escobar because he was going on the play.
I'm going to give him one for what that's worth. Official score, Max Otzler.
Heck of an effort.
How was it?
Mac Usler.
My bad.
Yep.
That's his job.
Hosmer wants to take a look at a pitch. Stephen Wright, like just about every other knuckleballer in the history of the game did not begin as a knuckleballer. He was a second-round pick of the Indians in '06 out of the University of Hawaii. Lucky guy. Hannigan had a tough time reading that one. So a professional in 2006. He didn't start throwing the knuckleball until 2010, and usually that's a desperation move to hang on to a career. He has worked with both Charlie Huff and Tim Wakefield. There's a strike to Hosmer. 2 balls and 1 strike. Haas homered, walked twice, and lined to left last night.
That looked like off the plate. I mean, Hannigan, his battery mate behind the plate today, has caught his last 6 starts. Usually managers like to go with 1 catcher for the knuckleballer, somebody who's used to it.
Drilled into deep center field. Bradley is back, and Eric Hosmer goes over the second wall. Home run number 8, and the Royals lead 2-0.
Able to wait on the knuckleball, and again, consecutive nights now going into the center field. I mean, this is a second-tier center field shot here at the K. That was a bomb, and that ball was tattered and battered, and those knuckleballs seems like they go a lot further because there's no spin on the ball. I don't know. I can't explain the physics behind it.
That is the physics of it. Is that, yeah, you figure fastballs would go the farthest because of just the collision of a pitch at 90-95 miles an hour with a bat, but really the fastball spin has to reverse itself. Curveballs go a long way because the spin stays the same, and knuckleballers actually go farther, even though, you know, 60-70 miles an hour, because there is no spin. At least that's what I remember as a physics major in college.
Yeah,
not really.
That's okay, Brian. You are excellent in your analysis, but that hit there is the second consecutive homer to center field in consecutive games.
That's a fair ball, and Shaw will take it to the bag to get Kendrys Morales.
Haas told me today before the game it's all about his back leg and his front leg, his lower half basically. He's sitting on his back leg longer, and he's able to get the pop from the hips from that position. Okay, Flamingo kick up and straight down. You see the lower half there. The lower half goes down, stays. He's leveraging that with some very nice balance.
Ball 1 to Alex Gordon.
Lots of times hitters will think, I know he throws the fastball, that's straighter and it's easier to hit. So I asked Dale Swaim, what's he going to do with the fastball as a hitter? Are you asking your guys to look for that pitch or stay with the knuckleball mentality? He told me fastballs in predictable fastball counts. 3-1, 2-0, he'll throw fastballs. But other than that, it's a knuckleball.
Now Alex hits it hard to right field. Betts is back, and he runs it down. So the Royals had very good swings against right in the first inning. None better than Eric Hosmer's for the second in 2 games of the Red Sox. Hosmer goes deep early, and the Royals lead 2-0.
20 a stake.
Eric Hosmer hits his 8th home run of the year. Ian Kennedy has a 2-0 lead, and the Royals are 10-2 this year when they have the lead going into the 2nd inning. Been a lot of activity in the last 2 weeks at least in the 1st inning. Either the Royals scoring or the opponent scoring. Fouled back by David Ortiz, and Kennedy's ahead. No balls and 2 strikes. David Ortiz in the game on Sunday had a walk-off double. That was against the Astros. That was his 600th career double to go with 500+ home runs. He hits it to the only guy on the left side of the infield. Cuthbert throws him out. And David Ortiz is one of just 3 players in Major League history with at least 500 or more home runs and 600 or more doubles, joining Hank Aaron and Bobby Bonds. Now here's the double. It's actually on Saturday. I said Sunday. Now we've seen all kinds of walk-off celebrations. The baby powder to the face. Oh, it was flour. Well, or baby powder, whatever. Same thing.
Well, his teammates just adore him, and so does the fan base. Surefire Hall of Famer.
Yeah, but somebody's going to get cute and say, well, he's a designated hitter. I'm not going to vote for him. I mean, I think he's going to get in, but
500 homers.
You know, somebody has to take the law into their own hands.
Well, you know, it's possible. I'm sure there'll be some doubters and some out there, but look, it's 500 home runs. He's passed all the tests that they've given him.
One and one on Travis Shaw, who had a big game last night. Travis Shaw went into spring training this year competing for the 3rd base job, and I think with most teams, if they had a player making the money that Pablo Sandoval had, Shaw had no chance. But he was told early in spring training that there was an opportunity out there if he'd win the job, and he did outright. Now Sandoval's done for the year with shoulder surgery, and now here's Shaw hitting .329 with 29 RBIs, and he had a big 3-run home run in the game last night. That ball's hit well past Hosmer, and the Red Sox have their first runner. 1 on, 1 out. Let's welcome in Joe Goldberg.
Thanks, Ryan. Was talking to Ian Kennedy yesterday. I said, how'd you find out about going in the day game of the doubleheader? And he said, Dave Island came up and said, you're pitching in the day game. And I said, great. But he said he doesn't think he's pitched in a Major League doubleheader before because of so many years out west in the National League and the roof in Arizona. But he said he didn't like day games at first in the big leagues, and he grew to like them. You see the numbers. He said one of his best games and most memorable ever was the day after the birth of his first daughter, Nora. He had no sleep. He went out to the bullpen. He threw his first complete game shutout in the big leagues against Cliff Lee and the Phillies. Miguel Montero went up to him as catcher afterwards and said, you had terrible stuff in the bullpen. You had nothing at all. So he said, you never know what's going to happen. But he grew to like day games, and that certainly was a special day.
That's nice. And typical for some guys, you know. Sometimes the less sleep you have, the more relaxed you are. And in a reaction game like this, you're able to play your best games. I don't know. It's hard to explain that too.
And some guys are just wired to play well in a day game after a night game, which is a challenge because most of the games are at night. It's not an absolute across the board, but when you look past the All-Star break at hitters who do well in day games, they're almost always veteran players who know how to get to bed at an early hour, know when to get up, know how to get into some sort of a routine because they've done it for so many years with the quick turnaround.
Ooh, man, I don't know how that didn't hit his hands. Yeah, Ryan, you're exactly right. And I hate to always go to my friend Pedro Guerrero for stories, but you know, Pedro was a special guy.
They're usually good stories, though.
Yeah, we're at Candlestick Park day game. He got to the ballpark, didn't get much sleep the night before, and they've dressed him. His teammates did. Milt Thompson, Ozzie Smith.
They dressed him?
Yeah, put his clothes on him, and then he went back to sleep on the floor right in front of his locker. Okay, so he's asleep. 20 minutes before the game, we're getting ready to go out and get stretched and get loosened up, and they took a baseball bat and dropped it right next to his ear, next to his head, and he heard the clink of the bat, and he woke up and he went out and went 4 for 5 and knocked in 3-4 runs. I was blown away. I was like, what? How does he do it? And it's just that natural reaction you're talking about. Guys that you're loose, you're programmed, you know, muscle memory, and he was one of the best. It's amazing. And another thing they put next to his head was a greasy sausage sandwich with a little egg on it, and that was his breakfast. That's all he had.
Oh boy.
He was a beauty.
Jackie Bradley Jr. Changeup for a strike, and it's 1-1. Bradley has the longest hitting streak in the major leagues this year at 22 games. Those are the active streaks. The second longest hitting streak at any point this year was turned in by Eric Hosmer. He had an 18-game streak. Good movement, but it stays inside. 2 balls and 1 strike. I would think if you've had the kind of night that requires your teammates to get you dressed the next day, the last thing you want to smell is a greasy sausage egg sandwich. It's my opinion.
Well,
and I'm speaking from experience. It's been a while, but speaking from experience.
I was amazed.
Boy, Kennedy is really keeping, as he has most of the season, his fastball down and on the edges.
Yeah, he's carving up the lower part of the zone, and that's exactly where you want to pitch. Now, you'd want to pitch down there, but sometimes when your mechanics aren't working, you don't pitch there. But he has been right down low in the zone, able to command, and therefore he's forcing the hot Red Sox offense to swing at borderline pitches like that are off the plate.
That was part of our discussion with Ned this morning, is that, you know, when a team is hot like the Red Sox, sometimes the tendency is to pitch them carefully. Whereas Ned felt like the key to Yordan Ventura last night was he went right after him.
Attacked him, and he rose to the occasion.
Bradley triggered, but was able to hold his swing. 3-2. Drew Butera reminds the infield that Shaw will be running on this pitch. Butera wants a breaking ball. And it's fouled away.
It's a good pitch there, 3-2. Bradley was looking for the fastball all the way. He just tried to protect.
Shaw runs again, and it's fouled away again. Jackie Bradley Jr., named after Jackie Robinson. Red Sox first-round pick in 2011, and at the University of South Carolina, where he was a teammate of Whit Merrifield. Again, Shaw takes off, and a changeup disrupted his timing just enough. And CAIN in center field brings it down. 2 scoreless innings for Ian Kennedy. 2-0 Royals on an Eric Hosmer 2-run home run. And before Cheslor Cuthbert comes to the plate, Kia puts us in the driver's seat. Red Sox had a pretty good run against the Royals going back to 2014. 1 point. Red Sox had won 10 of 12. The Royals had a lot of trouble scoring, but in the last 3, all of which the Royals have won, the Royals have had quite a spike in offense, over 7 runs per game, and that includes 8 last night. Cheslor Cuthbert had a 3-hit game and a run scored last night. Down in the count, no balls and 2 strikes. Have to wonder when was the last time Cheslor has seen a knuckleball pitcher.
Good question. They're a rare breed.
That is Wright's 2nd strikeout.
Talked about how Ryan Hennigan has caught his last 6 starts. Notice that catcher's glove he has on. It's not like a normal catcher's glove. It's like a first baseman's glove. Big and round, but a little bit thinner. Don't have to need the protection at all, but it enables you to catch in more of an area of the glove. It's bigger. I mean, he can close it down. Easy for you to say, for me to say. Sorry. Hey, but anyway, 8 pass balls for Hennigan this year. That's a lot. That'll tell you. He's kind of been stabbing for him back there. You want to let the ball come to you, they tell me, but you know he's stabbing some. Could make it interesting with runners get on.
Two and one on Christian Colon. Chris on the last road trip started in 5 of 7 games. High and tight. Omar Infante got the start last night in the series with the Red Sox. Had a couple of hits and a couple of runs scored. So all that playing time on the trip, and he's just 0 for 3 so far on this homestand. And he'll take a 1-out walk. Stephen Wright got up to a fantastic start. His first 6 put him amongst the elite in the American League, and some were even kind of winking Stephen Wright as the Red Sox ace. But on Friday against the Astros, he gave up 5 runs, 9 hits in 4 1/3 innings. His first non-quality start of the season, and in that game at one point he had a 5-1 lead. But gave up 4 runs in the 5th inning, so it all came down crashing very quickly for him, and now he's given up 2 runs in an inning and a third so far today.
So Ned Yost decided to let Butera take the knuckleballer and let Salvi have the left-handed Price in game 2. I like that. Hard throwing Price. You want Salvi with a little bit more power. Butera, fine backup.
Nice backhand play by Rutledge to second base 1, and how about that throw by Pedroia? Somehow he was able to maintain enough balance to get a throw on to first to complete a 5-4-3 double play.
That was pretty.
Game one of a day-night doubleheader. Eric Hosmer homered in the first inning against Stephen Wright. Ian Kennedy has given up one base runner in his first 2 innings, and this is Chris Young leading off in the third, starting in left field. The Royals' Chris Young, by the way, is progressing well. Ned Yost said the medical reports on him are positive, and Ned and the Royals maintain when both Young and Medlin went on the disabled list on the same day that they thought they could be out for the minimum 15 days. Young, Hannigan, and Betts for the Red Sox in the third inning. Breaking ball struck him out. 3 strikeouts for Kennedy. That's his first with an off-speed pitch. 1 away.
Most of the Red Sox hitters are going back to their dugout saying, wow, he's really commanding his fastball. Be ready for the fastball. And now he's mixing them up even more earlier in the count. The last at bat against Jackie Bradley Jr. 3-2 curve, 3-2 change. No, he's got him thinking right now. I like the way he's able to mix in all of his pitches, and they're all right around the strike zone.
And we've discussed this in just about every one of his starts this year, the effectiveness of his fastball. And there's one right there at 92, and it's 0-2 on Hannigan. About 80% of Kennedy's strikeouts this year have been on his fastball, which you wouldn't expect from a guy 91, 92, 93. Last year it was right around 50%. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Hannigan. So there you go. 34 out of 44 strikeouts this year have been on his fastball, and a lot of them, and in fact I'll say the majority of them, have been called third strikes.
And one of the reasons too is that the secondary pitches are good, and he's able to command those pitches. And then so it gets the hitter thinking, like I told you, I think these Red Sox are doing. And then when the fastball comes, it's actually sneaks up on him, and it gets it by him. It beats him because they're thinking about the other pitches.
There it is.
Man.
Another fastball, another strikeout, and another strikeout looking.
Now, he doesn't use a 2-seam fastball, but that has 2-seam movement. That's his four seams, and it's got some really good bite to it. Hair on it. A lot of hitters call it hair. Hey, man, that ball had some hair on it. That's referring to the late movement.
And now Betts fouls a fastball away. So let's look at our Academy Sports and Outdoors leaderboard. And Ian Kennedy is 3rd in the major leagues with lowest average against his fastball. Only Chris Sale and Carlos Martinez have had better opponents average with their fastball. Now those guys throw hard. Martinez upper 90s, Chris Sale mid to upper 90s, and then again Kennedy is in the low 90s for the most part, but just as effective. That fastball is in for a strike. So he strikes out the side. 2 more with the fastball and 2 more with the fastball looking.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. Man, that's great stuff.
Hosmer home run. Bottom of the 3rd inning, game 1 of a day-night doubleheader. That would be the top of the Royals pregame and postgame tent out in left field, where you'll see Joel and Monty. Gerard Dyson, Alcides Escobar, and Lorenzo Cain. And Wright's knuckleball is up and away. Dyson grounds it to first. Easy play for Shaw. And there is one out. A reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time later in today's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. Escobar went the other way and singled to right in the 1st inning. Stole 2nd and scored on the Hosmer home run.
You know, it's funny. We talked about how nice and short his base hit in his first at bat to right field was. I talked to him before the game. I said, "What are you going to do with this guy, Esky? You swing at the first pitch." He goes, "Oh man, I'm all over it. I'm gonna swing for my heels." And he didn't. He controlled his swing, and so he's into the game. He's into the moment. Before the game, guys are in their own element in there, and they're thinking ahead. But once you get out there and start feeling the competition, feeling the whole part of the game, watching him in his warm-ups, sometimes it changes. Your game plan changes, and that was a perfect stroke.
Not the call. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Almost had a curveball break to it.
Just like that one, it's 65 miles an hour.
And Esky's telling himself, "Ooh, man, that was the one. I want to pull that one."
He is a difference maker when you compare Escobar in Royals wins and losses. Right, good play, and gets Escobar for the 2nd out. Many of you remember Stephen Wright, the comedian. Big curly hair, deadpan. He is from Massachusetts, Cambridge, Massachusetts. So members of the crew who are familiar with Stephen Wright submitted some of their favorite Stephen Wright lines, which we'll share during the broadcast, compiled by Dave Holtzman.
I like it.
Out to short, Bogaerts throws out Cain. Line number 1. When I think of the past, it brings back so many memories.
Listen to Yogi in him.
Fourth inning, special guest here today in the Buck O'Neil legacy seat. Special Agent Stuart Bloomfield and Task Force Officer Patrick Salmon have put their lives on the line for the FBI as Pedroia pulls it foul. Agent Bloomfield and Officer Salmon were injured in a shootout with a suspect in Topeka last month, along with Deputy U.S. Marshals Jeffrey Andrew and Jerry Vieira. All survived and managed to protect innocent victims from being harmed. Agent Bloomfield is joined by his children, Michaela and Dex. That's a fair ball. And Officer Salmon is joined by his wife, Lisa. Pedroia dives in with a leadoff double against Kennedy. He lined to center his first time up, so there they are enjoying the game today in the Buck O'Neil legacy seat.
Thank you for your service. Good looking family you got. It's nice to see him smiling and happy here at the K.
Yep.
Congratulations on that Buck O'Neil legacy seat.
And now Bogaerts. He looked at a called third strike in the first inning. Kennedy comes in with a changeup for ball one. Bogaerts has hit in 11 straight. He leads the league with 54 hits. That is outside. 2 balls and no strikes. Xander Bogaerts from Aruba had an interesting start to his career. He was on the Red Sox 2013 World Series championship team, but in 2014 he still qualified as a rookie. He didn't play in enough regular season games in 2013 before the World Series, so technically he had a World Series ring before he even finished being a rookie.
Gotta like that.
Ground ball, base hit left field. Pedroia had to make sure it was going to get through, so he'll advance to third. And the Red Sox have runners at the corners with nobody out.
Red Sox are just great hitting all the way up and down the lineup. Hitting .305 with runners in scoring position. Bogaerts .371. You'll have to up that mark now with that base hit. Fortunately, he didn't score the run, but now Big Papi, he gets his turn. He's hitting .357 with runners in scoring position. And you know, Pedroia, he hit his 9th double. That gives the Red Sox 103 doubles, leading the league by far.
Ortiz rips it into right center field. It will score 1. Bogaerts will go to third. Ortiz has his 34th RBI. It's now 2-1. And once again, runners at first and third with nobody out.
That's a low strike right where Kennedy's been all day. But Big Papi said, I'm not going to wait around now. I'm going to go ahead and get another hit here with a runner in scoring position. 34th ribby. And all 3 hits have been on fastballs. Might start mixing them up a little, especially with this guy hitting.
Blocked by Butera.
Butera, not only does he do a great job once a week when he gets to play, if that once a week, but he fits the role perfectly. He runs in from the bullpen when Salvi catches. Whenever he hits and makes the last out, he runs in and he knows when Salvi's hitting, and he always comes in from the pen and catches the warm-up pitches. So this guy, he works. To be a backup player, you work. You don't sit and wait. You work in between. That's what makes him so valuable. And that once a game, once a week, how hard this game is, all you got to do is one good thing right, and you've had a good game.
Been so good with his fastball, Ian Kennedy, in the first 3 innings, and now he's given up 3 hits and he's backed off of it against Shaw, and he's behind the count 3-0. Shaw singled to right in the 2nd inning.
Well, a little nervous. Shaw's scalding hot.
Threw it by him on 3-0.
Travis Shaw and Mookie Betts are the only 2 Red Sox to play in every game this year. And you mentioned the work, the challenge he had in spring training. This guy has earned every bit of it, that good season so far. Travis Shaw. Hard work pays off.
3-2. So he fell behind with off-speed pitches, and now fills out the count using his fastball. Travis Shaw, the son of longtime major league pitcher Jeff Shaw, who spent parts of 12 years in the big leagues. Fastball got him looking. Another called 3rd strike with a fastball for Kennedy.
Hey, locked him up, got him thinking. Ooh, man, he snuck that piece of cheese right by him there at 93. That's all there was to it. Shaw saying, man, I don't know what I was thinking. And that's what you don't want to do, is think. I've never had a problem with that.
You know, usually someone will say something about themselves and the other person will say, you put that on a tee for me, right? But you kind of put one on a tee for yourself there.
And I went ahead and doinked it out there.
Rutledge struck out swinging at a fastball in the 2nd inning. 1st and 3rd, 1 out. No balls, 2 strikes. So Kennedy got a little tentative there after giving up the 3 hits on his fastball. Fell behind Shaw 3-0 off speed, and now back with that pitch. Went up the ladder there, still 0-2.
Rutledge has done a nice job. He's got 5 out of his 11 hits have been doubles. So he's been productive. 5 starts at 3rd base, 1 at 2nd base. Utility guy.
Late, and it's still 0-2. Getting the start at 3rd in this game, moving Shaw over to 1st, and Hanley Ramirez is not in the starting lineup. Bogaerts is at 3rd, Ortiz is at 1st. Ortiz drove in Pedroia in this inning to get the Red Sox on the board. Nice stop by Butera. Just inside. Butera liked the location. 2-2.
Yeah, that's calling for a jam sandwich right there. Rutledge saved his bat on that one. Pitching inside for effect.
Got some smoke coming out of that concession stand there. Get in front of our center field camera. Strike 3. 7 strikeouts already for Kennedy. And there are 2 down in the 4th inning.
Going back to the fastball, all, you know, like I said, all different angles, different sides of the plate, up, down, sideways. I mean, he's really got him thinking. And it was nice to see him recover from the 3 straight hits to start this 4th inning. Just leave that guy right there. XANDER Bogaerts.
And this inning is far from over. Jackie Bradley Jr. with his 22-game hitting streak comes to the plate. He flied to center in the 2nd inning. On the ground to Colon. And all things considered, a job well done by Ian Kennedy. Red Sox got a run. They had runners at first and third with nobody out. Kennedy gets 2 strikeouts and a ground out. Eric Hosmer has a 2-run home run today. He'll lead off the bottom of the 4th. Royals have given that young lady a 2-1 lead so far. Eric Hosmer leads off the 4th inning. And Hosmer turned in our Dodge drive of the game back in the 1st.
Yeah, Stephen Wright turned around and looked in center field. The pitcher who threw it and goes, man, that ball was hit hard. Haas stepping up. That's our drive of the game. Beauty.
Pitch came in at 74.5 and went out at 111.3. 439 feet.
Impressive.
In case you want to write that down on your scorecard.
Yeah, pretty. He supplied all that power there on the changeup.
Rutledge, good athletic play. He started that play as a third baseman, but where he made the throw, he essentially became a shortstop.
That's what really makes a guy like him valuable. He can play any of the positions. A manager, when he wants to spell a guy, he says, all right, I got somebody there who's not going to miss a beat. That's very athletic, like you said.
And now he shifts over to the right side and leaves Bogaerts on the left side. 0-1 on Kendrys Morales.
So far, the shift this year has really hurt Morales. No question about it. His batting average from the left side, not good, but he's hit some balls very hard, pulling them, and no luck. And then when he does hit a ball to the left side, it's right at the lone fielder on that side. So he's hasn't had the best of luck. He's not getting down about it. First day in a long time. First game we've seen him not wear batting gloves. He likes to tape those middle fingers there because they get a little tender when he's not wearing a batting glove. So keep him from getting a hot spot. Blister.
Slice to left. And Young makes the play inside the line. 2 down. All right, Shocker fans, don't miss out on Wichita State Day, May 28th. That's the Royals and the White Sox. The first 2,000 fans who bring their Wichita State themed ticket to the designated table will receive a limited edition gray, black, and gold branded KC cap courtesy of Fox Sports Kansas City and Rally House. Alex takes a strike on a fastball at 84. Alex lined out to right field in the first inning.
No,
and now a knuckleball.
Alex hasn't shown bunt very often. Now Bogaerts is going to move back, but Bogaerts is playing him in on the grass right here at the shortstop position. Very interesting to see that. We haven't seen him defend Alex like that with a shortstop in. And he hasn't shown bunt. Usually a guy will play there if the guy bunts. Oof.
Chance to reach. Hannigan had to go down to his knee to get it, and out at first base. The Royals will take a look at that. The Red Sox are confident. They go running off the field. No challenge. So Stephen Wright has a scoreless fourth. Stephen Wright, I was trying to daydream, but my mind kept wandering. The first inning for KC. David Ortiz drove in a run in the fourth for Boston. University of Kansas Hospital injury report. Mike Minor signed to a 2-year contract on February, is coming back from shoulder surgery. He will now move to AAA Omaha. Mike Minor won 13 games for the Braves 3 years ago. And when the starting rotation has had its troubles this year, that's a name that seems to keep coming up. Ned Yost has brought his name up. Dayton Moore has brought his name up. That ball will be backing out of play, and it's 1-1 on Chris Young. Very similar to last year with Chris Medlin, a pitcher that wasn't ready to go on opening day, but the Royals figured that he would have an impact at some point last year, which he did. And sounds like the same plan is out there for Minor.
Well, what makes Minor a little bit more appealing is he's left-handed. They need a left-handed starter in that rotation. And we'll see how it fares. Always good to have a bunch of pitching. There's Art Stewart talking to me in the elevator. Whenever I get a chance to be around him, it's a beautiful thing to hear him and his stories. He says, let me tell you about the kid Luke Farrell last night in AAA Omaha. Went 6 innings, gave up 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 6 strikeouts. But they said that his curveball, the scout I got this from, hasn't seen a curveball that good all year. So a good report on Luke Farrell.
That ball is crushed to left field. Chris Young, nice catch by a fan who brought his glove. Chris Young ties the game at 2 in the 5th inning. That's his first home run of the year. That just had that sound.
Fastball, just kept his hands right on top of the ball. Top hand does the work when that ball's up. Good swing. He's got a nice wide base. Barely even took a step with his stride foot.
You know, there's a connection in a way between Chris Young and Art Stewart. Not a direct connection, but remember the other day we were talking about how Art Stewart and other scouts will say you never leave a game early. A lot of scouts will go to see one or two players in particular, and when they're out of the game or they've seen enough, they leave. And there have been many major league players, future major league players, who were discovered because the scouts stuck around long enough. And Chris Young, who just hit that home run, is an example of that. Discovered by the White Sox when they were actually out there to see another player. Colon backhands and throws out Hannigan. Hannigan is 0 for 2.
If you haven't had a chance to get Art's book, The Art of Scouting, get it. I'm not the best book reader. I don't read a whole lot of books, but I've read that one. And that book is very interesting. Talks about the whole process of the scouting, how they go to find guys in the smallest little towns in the country. Great stories. You'll love the read.
You're not a very good book reader?
Well, let me just rephrase that. I don't have to say that. People
You don't
understand.
read many books? Is that what you're saying?
Joe Madden, back when we were together with the Angels, encouraged me to read 4 or 5 books in off season. He said, Hud, you need to read more so you can increase your vocabulary. You only have a certain few words you use. Don't be afraid to change them up. Get some knowledge. I said, all right. So I read one book.
You remember the show Cheers? Remember the old bartender Coach?
Yeah.
My favorite line from that movie, Coach was talking to another lady and she was telling Coach what her nickname was, and he said, I had a nickname, and she said, what is it? It's Red. And she said, oh, did you once have red hair? And he said, no, I once read a book.
That's right.
Just reminded me of that line.
That's my league.
Yeah, thank you. Brian Lefevre, Rex Hudler. Don't forget
Yeah.
Joel Goldberg and Jeff Montgomery. They are guilty by association. Mookie Betts has flied to center and struck out.
Ooh. I hit
That
somebody.
is a foul ball.
Okay.
Just above the hands on the handle.
I wonder how much that gold necklace weighs around his neck. I mean, I never wanted anything that had any weight on it on my body so I could run. This guy doesn't faze him. That thing, looks pretty heavy, doesn't it? It's
That is
beautiful.
of size.
Yeah. Ozzie Smith used to cut the bottom of his jersey. You know, all that extra material. He didn't like it. He cut it all up to where it's just trimmed, so where it barely even just went around his waist. He didn't want anything extra to
So
hold
there
him
was
back.
no jersey tucked in
No jersey.
under his belt.
Yeah, just very, very small. And I have an Ozzie jersey at home that I got from him. And it's really interesting how small he was, but he really just had it tailored down and tapered around the waist. Every player is different.
Ooh, man.
I hope it didn't get him in the head. I've seen guys bounce those off the plate and hit him in the eye. See where it got him. Ooh, yeah, better there than the head. Last season, the Red Sox had the 2 players that impressed me a lot. This young man, Betts and Holt, we talked about a little bit in last night's game. Guys that are energy givers. They attack the ball. They stay inside. They use the whole field. They're dangerous. Tough to get them out. They run hard every time.
Mookie Betts absolutely wore out the Royals when the Red Sox were here last year, and the Royals have pitched him well so far. He is just 1 for 7 with a single. So 2 down, and now Dustin Pedroia. And we'll look at our Kubota power stats for today. Red Sox have 233 runs scored with their 2 runs today. They're on pace to score right around 970 runs, which would be the most in the major leagues since the White Sox 16 years ago. They have scored 2 runs today. They scored just 4 runs in the game last night. They have now homered, thanks to Chris Young, in 18 consecutive games. That's 1 shy of their club record. 1 and 2 from Kennedy to Pedroia.
Dustin Pedroia is a baller, man. This guy, he is nothing but a baseball player. I mean, he's down and dirty. Going on his 10th year in the big leagues. Coming into this season, he had 9 years and 41 days of service time. 2-time world champion, this young man here. Little guy, but got a big heart and loves to play the game. Everything revolves, anything he does is all about baseball. Off the field, on the field, he's focused. It's the kind of player you want on your team.
Dustin Pedroia actually hit his first major league home run against the Royals. He was a late season call up in '06. Luke Hudson allowed that home run, but then his career and the awards began the next year when he was Rookie of the Year, and that was the first of his World Championships. And then the year after that, he was an MVP.
Yeah. Just look at how his pants are bloused. They're baggy. He's a throwback player. He's a guy that would thrive in the 20s and 30s. He would have been that kind of player.
Three balls and 2 strikes. First player in Major League history, Dustin Pedroia, to have Rookie of the Year, a World Series championship, a Gold Glove, MVP, all of those in his first 2 major league seasons, full major league seasons. Pretty good.
Yeah, that career batting average coming into this season at .299. How about that? He's got to get that over that 1 point to 300. Round it out. Of course, he's got some time left.
Here's pitch number 90 from Kennedy with 2 down in the 5th, and Pedroia lays off a changeup. Looked like the right pitch and the right spot. Pedroia thought about it, but was able to stop his swing. And for Kennedy, that's just his first walk. Dave Island, I'm sure, is still not happy that the Royals have the most walks from their starting rotation in the American League, but they've really cleaned that up recently. Yordano Ventura, one of the biggest culprits of that, walked only 1 in the game last night in 5 2/3. So the bulk of that overall total is from the month of April. Ned Yost said that he thought Yordano Ventura looked as good last night as he has all year. Now his line would not suggest that, but they just liked the way he threw the ball, how he was on the attack, how he located. Again, the 1 walk in 5 2/3 innings, but 3 of those runs came on 1 swing on the Travis Shaw home run.
Yeah, I loved his tempo, how he threw strikes. He was precision like the first 2 innings for sure. Set the tone, as starting pitching usually always does. Pedroia has 2 steals this year.
Bogaerts swings over a changeup. 1 ball and 1 strike. We touched on this last night. The Red Sox have had a great start to the season offensively, and they've also been running. Our Toyota League leaders. Only the Astros have more stolen bases than the Red Sox in the American League, and look at how much they've improved since 2014. They were 13th that year, 9th last year, and so far 2nd in the league this year, and with a very good percentage. They have 30 stolen bases, and they've only been thrown out 3 times all year. One of those was last night in a key spot in the game. Xander Bogaerts, who is at the plate right now, led off the 8th inning. At the time, it was a 1-run game. He led off with a single, tried to steal second, and Salvador Perez gunned him down. And a fastball makes it 2-2. Here you go, Hud.
Yeah, never gets tired of watching this. Salvi comes out of there like a cat, stays on top with a pretty good straight throw down there on the first base side of second base. That's how he's able to, Infante's able to get that good tag on him. You know, you can give Ruben Amaro Jr., the first base coach in his first year with the Red Sox, some credit. Oh, this one got away. Good try. BUTERA so far in this game, still early, has made some nice blocks. Wasn't able to keep that one in front. 3rd wild pitch on Kennedy this year. He tried, and maybe that's when the back end comes in there. He tried to get in front of it, thumbs out, just didn't work. Yeah, Ruben Amaro and Brian Butterfield, the 3rd and first base coaches, have done a great job teaming up with the base running for the Red Sox. Ruben was a longtime general manager for the Philadelphia Phillies. You don't see many GMs leave there and come on the playing field.
Diving play, Escobar from his knees. Got him. And he saved a run. The Royals shortstop rips off the Red Sox shortstop.
Wow, that was special. He's got John Farrell saying, come on, that can't be right. No way, throws my guy out from the knees. Runs well. Escobar uses the turf. Look at the pick by Haas. Got him. Oh, no, I thought that ball was getting by for sure. Alex Gordon was ready to throw him out. No need. I didn't think he was going to get to it.
And the ovation was in reaction to John Farrell going back into this dugout, acknowledging that Bogaerts was out. 2-2 tie to the bottom of the 5th.
Gold and gold crime.
Cheering one of our hometown heroes as the Royals, every home game, honor a local service man or woman. Now Alcides Escobar with his diving play at short keeps this a 2-2 tie, and the Royals have Cuthbert, Colon, and BUTERA against Stephen Wright. Chesler had a bad time with the knuckleball in the second inning and struck out. The Royals had 2 runs after the first 3 hitters today. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Escobar singled, and then with 1 out, Hosmer homered. And now Wright has bounced back, and he has set down 10 of the last 11 Royals.
Well, it's time to get a little frenzy hitting going here.
Only the 21 pitch first inning of significance as far as pitch count. Other than that, extremely efficient. 31-year-old Stephen Wright. Cuthbert, little pop up, and Bogaerts will go out to get it. 1 out in the bottom of the 5th. You can cement your memories forever with a championship legacy brick. Create a personalized message that includes the 2015 World Series champions logo. Your brick will then be installed in the ground outside the stadium gates, and a portion of the proceeds of the brick go back to support Royals charities. And what a night we had last night. Our Royals charities broadcast auction just shattered the previous record for donations, and it got significantly better when we went off the air. People continued to bid. Colon pops it up right center field. 3 Red Sox in pursuit, and it's Betts coming over from right, and they're 2 down. So 2 up, 2 down. Here's Drew Butera, and here's Joel.
And Drew Butera will try to get a hit off the knuckleballer. He's got a little experience hitting them, a little bit catching knuckleballers. He said he never has in the big leagues. He caught R.A. Dickey in the minor leagues, but he had an interesting story. He said he was playing in a charity golf tournament once, and Tim Wakefield was there, as was Frank Viola Jr., the son of the great Frank Viola. And Frank Viola Jr. wanted to learn how to hit to throw a knuckleball. So Tim Wakefield said, "Let me show you." And right there on the golf course, he started pitching to Drew Butera, catching a knuckleball on a golf course. He said he has a little bit more experience too because his dad used to catch Joe Niekro.
Bogaerts jump throw and gets Butera, which begs the question, Joel, was there a baseball and a catching mitt readily available on the golf course?
Or
were they using golf balls to throw a knuckleball? Royals are down in order in the 5th, and now Wright has set down 13 of the last 14 Royals. David Ortiz leads off the top of the 6th inning and takes ball 1. Ortiz drove in Pedroia in the 4th inning for Boston's first run. 34 driven in for Ortiz to match the number on the back of his jersey. Luke Hochevar is on the left, Brian Flynn on the right. Kennedy is moving up on 100 pitches. He pretty much just breezed through the first 3 innings, but the last 2 have been struggles. But he has prevented big innings in each of the last 2. Gave up just 1 run in the 4th. And that was after the Red Sox had runners at 1st and 3rd and nobody out. Fouled away by Ortiz. And then in the 5th inning, Red Sox had a run home. They had a runner at second base with 2 outs, and Xander Bogaerts sure looked like he had a base hit to left field, but Alcides Escobar made the defensive play of the game to throw out Bogaerts and save another run. Three and 2 on David Ortiz. Now Esky is over on the right side of second base. The Royals have 3 infielders stacked on that right side. And that should reach the seats.
Well, you'd think that they would count that as a defensive run saved by Escobar. Royals came in currently at 13 plus in the defensive run save. That's 5th best in Major League Baseball. So you'd add another defensive run saved by that play.
Ooh, oh my,
get fouled.
That ball needs to hook, and it does. Can we go back to those last numbers on 3 and 2? Both of them are just very impressive for different reasons. Number 1, David Ortiz hitting .301 with a full count. If I told you the league average was .201 on 3 and 2, would that surprise you? Well, Ortiz lives up to his numbers. I would think the league would do better than .201 with the count 3 balls 2 strikes. 2 hits for Ortiz today.
And Ortiz wanted to do more of that. As hot as he's been, he wanted to get up underneath that and hook the pole. I had a chance to talk with Big Papi yesterday before the game. We talked about his philosophy, you know, off the field, and he said it's what we do for others that counts. The game's blessed me in a lot of different ways. Been able to play for a few different teams, and he said that he's found out that that opens up doors to serve others. And so this guy, he's the reason why he's so well liked. He does a lot for others. He's telling Haas all about it. Pleasant young man. I mean, pleasant, very, very pleasant. Well, he's 40 years old. He's not exactly a young man, but he gets it. By this time in his career, he totally gets it.
We'll never forget being in Boston. In fact, it was the last time the Royals played a day-night doubleheader with the Red Sox. Royals were the first game in 2013 after the tragic bombings during Patriots Day. David Ortiz with the speech heard all throughout New England. Maybe not appropriate for all audiences, but for what New Englanders needed to hear, Bostonians needed to hear that day. I mean, there were people at the ballpark that we thought may have been offended, and they said, nope. That's exactly what people needed to hear from David Ortiz. They're going to make a movie about that day, and David Ortiz has been asked to reenact that speech.
Of course, Neil Diamond flew in from Southern California. Sing the famous Sweet Caroline song.
How about our sprint trivia question for today? Who are the 2 winning pitchers for the Royals in the doubleheader sweep? Now, the Royals lost that first game, but then there was a day-night doubleheader. The day after that, the Royals swept the day-night doubleheader. I don't remember the winning pitchers, but I do remember that Greg Holland had a save in both games. I believe that is correct. It was supposed to be a Friday, Saturday, Sunday series. Friday was postponed because the Bombers had been discovered to be in town and they were on the run, so they shut down the city. Kennedy strikes out Shaw. Big strikeout against a good hitter, and for Kennedy, that's 8 strikeouts and the second time he's gotten Shaw. And remember, Boston was in a lockdown. We were supposed to stay in our hotel room, so then they took care of the suspects. And then the game on Saturday, that was the ORTIZ speech and Neil Diamond, and then the day-night doubleheader on Sunday, and the Royals swept the 2 games.
And that was amazing. The Royal, you rarely can sweep the Red Sox in a doubleheader in their house. But you know, they battled in game 1 on that Saturday, and Daniel Nava hit probably one of the biggest home runs he'll ever hit in his career. It gave him the lead, and that's what they needed. The city needed that.
Not that the Royals wanted to lose that game. They didn't want to lose it, but it was one of those days where life was more important than baseball, and I think we all left the ballpark thinking Red Sox, their fans, and New England, they needed that.
They did. I'll never forget that game. I just can't remember the winning pitchers on Sunday.
Fouled away by Rutledge. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Well, let's see. James Shields was in that rotation.
Yeah, we can guess.
Was Danny Duffy in that rotation?
I want to think Duffy is in there.
What about Bruce Chen? I remember Bruce Chen having a really good start at Fenway Park. I don't know if it was that one. Okay, a hint is that 1 was a starter and 1 was a reliever. Pereira gave up the home run to Nava. It's the only other detail that I remember of that series. 1 and 2 on Rutledge. Did he go? He did. That's a new season high for Ian Kennedy. 9 strikeouts. 2 down in the 6th inning.
Well, like Yordano Ventura, Ian Kennedy stepped up. The second game of this 3-game series. Nice job.
116 pitches is also a season high. Now you got Jackie Bradley Jr. coming up, a left-hand batter, and Ned Yost is going to go with a left-hand pitcher, Brian Flynn. Chevy called to the bullpen, Flynn into the ball game, and Kennedy gets a nice ovation headed to the dugout. Royals baseball is brought to you by your local Kansas City area Chevy dealers. Visit for great prices on the all-new 2016 Malibu. By Panera Bread, food as it should be with 24 Kansas City metro locations. And by Academy Sports and Outdoors, right stuff, low price every day. Mr. and Mrs. K, their statues would suggest that they are soaking in this gorgeous day at Kauffman Stadium. Ian Kennedy, season high 9 strikeouts, a season high 116 pitches. And now Brian Flynn will try and get the final out of the 6th inning. David Ortiz is the runner at first with 2 down. And it's 2 balls and no strikes on Jackie Bradley Jr.
Flynn, very good fastball. He's going to work that thing 90 to 94 miles an hour, anywhere in between there. He's got a big slurvy curve and a changeup.
2-1 on Jackie Bradley Jr., who is 0 for 2. He has a Major League best 22-game hitting streak. He has flied to center and grounded out to second base. Done well against lefties this year. Flynn throws one by him. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Flynn, big guy. Throws across his body a little bit of a interesting angle coming into lefties. Oh, beauty.
And he comes in and gets the job done. Royals pitchers have struck out 10 Red Sox hitters in 6 innings, 9 of which punched out by Ian Kennedy. Red Sox got 1 in the 4th and 1 in the 5th. Gerard Dyson leads off our Sonic Slam inning. Our contestant is Fred Costanza from Independence, Missouri. If the Royals hit a home run in this inning, Fred, you'll win $2,100. If the Royals hit a grand slam, it's worth $25,000 from Sonic and the Royals.
How about just a hit? Royals haven't been able to hit right at all since that first inning. They scored 2, got 2 hits. He's done a nice job of fluttering that knuckleball up there and getting outs.
All they've had since that first inning is a walk, and that was to Cologne with 1 out in the 2nd inning. That's inside. 2-1 to Dyson. Wright has retired the last 10 Royals and 13 of the last 14. Dyson, good start.
Up the right field line, down into the corner. And the ball took a tricky enough hop on Betts to make it an easy triple.
Yeah, Gerard Dyson checking in. Got him a pitch that stayed fairly straight. Looked like it could have been a fastball even. Looked like he stayed right on top of it, drove it down to that corner, and the minute it left his bat, he's thinking 3 all the way. And he hits first base, and he ain't messing around. Hitting the inside part of the base with his foot, that's proper. Hitting that corner, cuts down your, and there it hit a little bit of a crick there in the wall. Betts couldn't get it in. They wouldn't have gotten him at third anyway. John Farrell's going to pull the Red Sox infield in.
Escobar got a pitch up and fouled it back.
A lot of fly balls and pop-ups for outs from that Stephen Wright knuckleball. So this is not a bad time to hit a fly ball if you have to. I mean, Escobar would like to try to guide it up the middle with that big hole infield in. Big area there up the middle. But anyway, just get the job done.
0-2.
It was up and a little bit too inviting to lay off of that. He wanted to swing at it, but you know, Escobar does well in these situations here. With the infield drawn in with 2 strikes, he'll just sometimes just try to feather it over their heads. Doesn't try to do too much.
Popped up. Shaw makes a play in foul ground. I don't know if he swung at 1 strike. Nope, all 3 out of the strike zone.
Yep, and up too. You know, he was giving him pitches that he could hit the sac fly on it, but they were just too far up out of the zone. Man,
so really good pitching by Wright if that's what he wanted to do, because Escobar's looking for the pitch up, but if you would, he went higher than high. So he gave him it up, but too high for Escobar to do anything with it.
I wonder, you know, knuckleballers, they have a hard time controlling that pitch. They'll tell you once it leaves their hands, it has a mind of its own, that ball, because there's no rotation on it. They rely on the air pockets that are in on the way from the release point to the catcher's glove. And sometimes, but still, he executed his pitches. Now he's doing the same thing with Lorenzo Cain.
1-1 on Cain. Lorenzo is struck out and grounded to short. Two and 1.
Another interesting statistic, and really amazes me with the movement that Wright gets, is he only has 1 wild pitch this year.
Yeah, but how many pass balls did we figure out that Hannigan had? 8. Don't know how many of those are with Wright, but I bet if not all of them, most of them.
Yeah. Dyson will be alive for that.
2-2.
Play in a game against a strong Red Sox offense like this, and you get a leadoff triple, you've got to find a way to make it happen. You've got to get that run home. You expect to win this game.
Almost had another pass ball there. 3-2. Hosmer's on deck.
You would think, though, with a knuckleballer, they would give him more wild pitches than pass balls.
But but you know, most of the time it's off the catcher's glove.
Yeah, you know, see how Hannigan's stabbing at the ball.
Cain got it in the air. Young is back. Lorenzo Cain gets the job done. The Royals lead 3-2.
Hittable, very hittable. Good job. Just trying to get up underneath it. Didn't try to muscle it. Just trying to get the job done. Pulled his hands inside close to his body. He's able to get the meat of the bat on it. And a nice applause. And Ian Kennedy sticking around for this one. What a job by Kennedy. Dangerous as this Red Sox lineup is, to go as deep in the game as Kennedy did and only allow 2 runs. Marvelous job.
Hosmer hit a 2-run home run in the first inning, and he grounded out in the third. That's hard hit. And Shaw, like a hockey goalie, makes a glove save to end the inning. Dyson gets it started with a triple. CAIN drives him home with a sac fly, and the Royals have the lead. His league leading 5 game-winning RBI. Driving in Jarrod Dyson to give the Royals a 3-2 lead. Time for a Premier Mazda game break. Look at those numbers for our Royals Charities broadcast auction. When we went off the air, the Royals had raised $146,000 for Royals Charities, but it is now at $175,000. The previous record was $113,000. So $62,000 more than any other year. And first and foremost, we need to thank you who participated with some tremendously generous donations. And the Royals went on to win that game 8-4. And if the bullpen can hold it, they could win the series. Hochevar against Young, Hannigan, and Betts. Cutter in for a strike, and it's 0-2. Young tied the game with a home run in the 5th inning against Kennedy. Ian struck him out in the 3rd.
Hoch, nice little big bender. He's got a real good curve. That's an equalizer. 4-seam fastball and the cutter. And the cutter is almost like a slider. And I had a gentleman in the parking lot today, a Royals fan, said, hey, could you tell me what a cutter is? You guys, there's a lot of pitchers out there that throw cutters. And I said, yes, sir. It's an abbreviated slider. It's not, doesn't have the same depth as a slider. Slider breaks a little bit more, but this is at the last minute. It has a little cut to it, and the pitcher does that by simply applying more pressure on the middle finger when on his release point. And it cuts it away, and at the last minute, the hitter thinks it's a fastball, and it's not. Just like that.
But there's not enough spin on it to
pick it up.
Recognize it. It looks like a fastball out of his hand.
Excellent pitch, especially when you command it like Hochevar and Wade Davis.
And then you'll also hear another term that a guy has some cut on his fastball, which would imply that he's not trying to manipulate it, but just because of the way he grips the ball and his fingertips and the pressure that he puts on the ball just makes it do that naturally. Similar to what you're talking about with Ian Kennedy, who doesn't try and manipulate the ball with his fastball, but it has movement like a two-seam fastball would.
That's right.
Ryan Hannigan is struck out and grounded out. 2-2.
And it takes enough change of speeds there to really mess with a hitter.
Boy, Hochevar likes that pitch today. Back-to-back strikeouts with that cutter. 2 down.
Let's take a look at the grip of the cutter. We see he's not as far on the side of the ball as he is with the curve. See, he's still up in the middle of the ball a little bit more. On the curve, he's more on the side, but see, it's just got that little late life to it that breaks away from the righty. And Hennigan's got to go.
Mookie Betts with 2 down, and there's the big curve. Man, hang with him today.
Man, the bottom fell out of that one.
A little bit outside at 95. Hochevar also pitched last night and went an inning and a third. He got the final out for Ventura in the 6th inning and had a quick 1-2-3 7th. Another cutter, 1-2.
Well, he's on today, that's for sure, and he knows he's got to be. Every hitter in this Red Sox lineup can hurt you.
That looked like a 4-seam fastball. So that was more for velocity, not for movement. 2-2. Hochevar today gets a clean inning. Nedjos more times than not this year has brought him in the middle of an inning with men on. Cutter struck him out. Wow. 3 strikeouts, all with the cutter. And Royals pitching has struck out 13 Red Sox hitters today.
Dominant. Hochevar right on top of his game. Outstanding.
Thanks, Kelly. What was he throwing?
Gum. Double the pleasure.
Was?
Yeah.
That way, Mike. I see you. Hey! Ron Swan. Rutledge. That is the third baseman over on the right side of second base. So that's a 5-3 ground out. Kendrys Morales is 0 for 3, and there you go again. The shift hurting Morales a couple of years ago. That's a base hit into center field.
Yeah, and Rutledge showing some nice range and defensive skills today. A couple of very nice plays.
Alex Gordon is lined to right and struck out against Stephen Wright. Just his 75th pitch with 1 out in the 7th inning. Royals got 2 in the first against Wright when Eric Hosmer hit a 2-run home run, and then Wright went on to set down 13 out of 14, including 10 in a row. But then Dyson tripled in the 6th, and CAIN got him home with a sacrifice fly to put the Royals in front. Other way, and right at Young. I mean, right at him. And there are 2 down. It's not the first time the Red Sox have had a knuckleballer in recent history. And look at this. Tim Wakefield joined the Red Sox at the age of 28. He had 6 career wins. He came up through the Pirates organization, first as an infielder, then a knuckleballer. And then he won 180 more games with the Red Sox. Stephen Wright joined the Red Sox at age 28. He did not have a career win, and now he has 10, so he has a ways to go to catch Wakefield. But I wonder if that had something to do with the Red Sox taking a chance on Stephen Wright after all the success they had with Tim Wakefield. Cuthbert makes the adjustment in his 3rd at bat, and he singles to right. Tim Wakefield, by the way, is going to go into the Red Sox Hall of Fame this summer.
Congratulations to him. Incredible. St. Louis Cardinals, I was a part of that team when he got his first big league win in Pittsburgh in Three Rivers Stadium. And he had us baffled. And guys were looking in there. Ozzie Smith, they're all looking around going, who is this kid? What's he doing to us? And he totally shut us down. I'll never forget it. Wakefield, what a career.
Fastball at 85 to Cologne. Now a knuckleball's in for a strike. Chris has walked and flied out to right field. Popped up, and Betts makes a play in right field. 7 innings for Stephen Wright. Stephen Wright, I poured spot remover on my dog. Now he's gone. Former NFL player.
Looks like a statue.
By the way, just like we promised you earlier in the game, it is Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite.
He is our Miller guy. And Dyson, I didn't realize he blew a tire coming out of the box, but no need. Just turned on the afterburners and got in there. Love the handsy type swing. Lorenzo Cain, hopefully he picked up his 6th game-winning RBI with that nice sac fly. Got Dyson home after the leadoff triple. Nice job. Fellas, way to be here. Way to cover the action. Thank you so much.
By the way, John, doesn't that look like a guy who just held up a convenience store?
Yeah, you got
the
something
sketch
with
that
his
you
hat.
see on the news.
Yeah. Look, he's too clean, and he's way too nice a guy. The hat, you know, it's a little dark, but look.
Dark cap, dark glasses.
Yeah. He's okay.
Kelvin Herrera, Chevy call to the bullpen. He'll get Pedroia, Bogaerts, Ortiz if anybody gets on Shaw. And Kelvin chipped in with the Royals' 8-4 victory last night, pitching a scoreless 8th inning. Pedroia takes low, ball 1. Royals had a 2-0 lead. The Red Sox got 1 in the 4th, 1 in the 5th to tie, and then the go-ahead run we just showed you for the Royals in the bottom of the 6th. Pedroia doubled and scored in the 4th inning. Good fastball at 97. 1 ball and 1 strike. Pedroia lined to center and walked, along with the double and a run scored. Over the outside. 1-2. Pedroia not quite satisfied with that call. He had some trouble with Bill Miller last night on pitches in that area, maybe even slightly off the plate. Line right to Cologne.
It's very nice. Herrera, they all know what he has. Hard fastball, great changeup, but this year he's been incorporating the slider. Interesting confrontation last night between Hanley Ramirez and Herrera. Watch this. Thanks for coming. And as he smiles at him, he's going, man, you know what? Herrera's going, go sit down and grab some pine. And now, earlier against Miguel Cabrera, one of the greatest hitters ever, he blows him away with a couple of fastballs and has these great hitters thinking twice. But there's one Bogaerts able to sneak in there.
Well, Bogaerts has a 2-hit game. He's on with 1 out. So the tying run on with David Ortiz coming to the plate. Drew Butera staggered out to the mound to talk to Kelvin Herrera. David Ortiz checks to see if he's all right. Got him on the knee, maybe, or the thigh.
Yeah, the head of the bat hit him on the outside of the knee, the left knee. Big situation here against the most dangerous DH in the land.
And a base hit into right field. Bogaerts can run. He'll make the turn on Dyson. Dyson's throw! Got him at third! Gerard Dyson guns down Bogaerts.
Wow, that's a hat tip for sure. Look at that throw again. I didn't think he had a chance at Bogaerts. Now the ball was hit hard. John Farrell again coming up out of the dugout thinking, come on. These Royals, we know they play good defense, but really, look at Dyson. He says, I will take the challenge. Straight as a string. Cuthbert with the tag up on the hit. Got him. What a play. That could be a game changer in today's ball game. 5th outfield assist for Dyson on the season with a cannon. Yeah. I would like to get the miles per hour on that throw from Dyson. Kelvin says thank you. Didn't want to give him a first pitch fastball, but he did. And Big Papi again Trying to knock in another run. Tie this game up.
Now that would have tied the game. Look out. CAIN and Gordon almost collide. So if Dyson does not throw out Bogaerts, that fly ball right there would have scored Bogaerts from third, and we're talking about a tie game. But thanks to Dyson's arm, the Royals maintain a 3-2 lead to the bottom of the 8th.
Oh, what a beautiful weapon. He hosed him. Out.
Cuthbert to help keep a 3-2 Royals lead. Stephen Wright stays on for the bottom of the 8th inning. Otherwise, the Red Sox, Dave Island says thank you. The Red Sox have runners at first and third with one out, and that fly ball by Shaw could have tied the game. But the Royals have had two huge defensive plays today. One literally saving a run, the other one possibly saving a run. A strike to Butera. Alcides Escobar in the 5th inning, taking a hit and an RBI away from Bogaerts. And then Bogaerts being gunned down at third in the 8th inning by Dyson.
So far, first 2 games on this homestand, and we've seen the Royals the way they were playing last season at their best. Energy, making the plays, routine plays, but then the ones that you don't expect made, they make those too. Timely hits. Drew Butera in his 1 start a week doing a fantastic job back there. Ian Kennedy, nice start. So I mean, in this game only gave up 2 runs.
Strikeout for Wright, his 4th. And now Pinera will take us around the league. A couple of finals. Detroit beat Minnesota. Ian Kinsler, the former MU Tiger, had a big game. Minnesota is now 19 games below 500. Philadelphia beat Miami. The Phillies are 7 games above 500. And Oakland leads at home against Texas. One night after getting a walk-off grand slam from Chris Davis to beat the Rangers. Inside to Dyson. He got a little louder ovation than normal when he was introduced after that great throw.
You do one good thing right when you play every day. As an everyday player, you've had a good game. When you play once, twice a week like Gerard has this week, and he's done 2 very nice things. He got that leadoff triple start in the 6th inning, and then he threw out Bogaerts on a tremendous throw. That's how hard the game is. It looks easy. These guys make it look that way, but it's very difficult. Athletes You look around the infield and outfield, you see athletes, guys that can do a lot of things.
Back-to-back strikeouts. And now 5 for Stephen Wright. Let's answer our sprint trivia question for today. Last time the Red Sox and Royals played a day-night doubleheader was at Fenway in 2013. Who were the winning pitchers? Danny Duffy and Kelvin Herrera. Hud?
James Shields.
And?
Herrera. I'm going with Herrera too.
Strike to Escobar. Urban Santana and Kelvin Herrera. So we did all right.
Yeah, but I forgot all about Urban.
Base hit for Escobar. He has a 2-hit game. And he's a good bet to steal if John Farrell stays with Stephen Wright and Lorenzo Cain coming up. Remember, you can now bid on the game used and autographed jerseys and hats from both teams worn by the Royals and the Braves in our Sunday salute to the Negro Leagues. All proceeds benefit the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum. To place your bid, visit royals.com/NLBM. It'll be Carl Willis, the pitching coach, out to the mound.
Let's take a look at some of the great defensive plays we've seen just today. 5th inning, ball was through. Escobar catches it on the grass from his knees. Threw out a very speedy runner. Great quick release. Haas with a dig. What new? Good pick. Super. Pumped up Kennedy and the entire crowd here at the K today. Now we just saw this. Dyson, I'm thinking he's not going to get him. I was wrong. God, what a throw. You know, and the throw had enough on it that he could get it to Cuthbert to fly the tag. Herrera, everything. Defensive plays like this charge their teammates and the crowd. Big lift, just as good as a big base hit does.
Escobar runs. Knuckleball, strike, stolen base. And the key was the knuckleball, because I wondered if the reason Carl Willis went out there was to say, hey, maybe we might want to start him off with a fastball here in case Escobar is running.
Well, you know, it was a good pitch up for Hannigan, the catcher, who's thrown out 33% of runners this year, which is a really good mark. Anything over 30 is excellent, but just wasn't accurate. Took a perfect throw to get him, and it wasn't.
Cain did not make contact, so Escobar will go to third. It's a pass ball, so that's 9 for Hannigan this year. That's just an unfair statistic.
Yeah, it is. Got that big catcher's mitt in all.
So he'll be ready for another one.
Insurance run would be huge right here for Waiter. He was out in the bullpen getting loose.
Just outside, 1 ball, 2 strikes. And there's Davis getting set to face Rutledge, Bradley Jr., and Young. And John Farrell does have Brock Holt and Hanley Ramirez on the bench. It'll pop up, and Shaw won't get there.
You know, talk about athletes wherever you see him out there on the field. And you see a guy 6'4", 235, and Shaw over there at first base. Don't let the size fool you. That guy's a good athlete as well.
This is just the Royals' third at bat today with a runner in scoring position. Fouled back. Holtze looked it up. 12 years ago, Doug Mirabelli, the former Wichita State Shocker, he was the personal catcher for Tim Wakefield, and he had 15 pass balls in 2004, which is a big number. And poor Ryan Hannigan already has 9, and we're about at the quarter pole of the season. CAIN strikes out, and Wright strands Escobar at third. Stephen Wright, I intend to live forever. So far, so good. Royals baseball is brought to you by the Missouri Lottery. Every ticket you play gives back to schools across Missouri, so play it forward with the Missouri Lottery. By Menards, save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. And by your Midwest Ford dealers. Visit your MidwestFordDealers.com. Beautiful day. Royals lead. John Pope, who is behind the scenes, and yet he is the one who brings you the pictures of Joel's interview on the field prior to the Salvi splash. Don't want to celebrate too soon, but just in case, he is preparing the camera for a potential Salvi splash.
Pope and the rest of the camera guys all got skills, believe it.
Brock Holt will bat for Josh Rutledge.
Good choice. You called it. Got options. Swinging at the first pitch, getting in the game as a pinch hitter. He's 0 for 1 as a pinch hitter. Davis, ERA 1.42, innings 12 2/3, 13 punch-outs. Opponents aren't doing much off him. 146. Similar pitches as Luke Hochevar. Four-seam fastball. He'll top out at 95, 96. Good cutter and a nice overhand curve.
Holt is facing Wade Davis for the first time, and he's down 0-2. He was a starter last night and was 0 for 4. On the ground to Hosmer, who backhands. One away. Today's copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Kansas City Royals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Kansas City Royals Baseball Club. Eric Hosmer's family. Mom Ileana in the middle, brother Mike on the left, father Mike on the right. Saw Eric hit a 2-run home run in the first inning today. Here's Jackie Bradley Jr. and a cutter is inside, almost hit him. This is Wade's first save opportunity since blowing a save on Sunday for the first time this year. The Royals ended up winning that game in 13. Jackie Bradley Jr. extends his hitting streak to 23 games in his final at bat. Now he hopes it's not his final at bat of the day, but he got a breaking ball and he's on with one out. And now we're getting yet another pinch hitter, Marco Hernandez, who also hit in the 9th inning last night against Soria. He was just called up a few days ago when former Royal Sean O'Sullivan was designated for assignment. So Hernandez batting for Chris Young.
Jackie Bradley with a couple of steals so far this season.
One for 3 in 3 games for Hernandez. Fastball is outside, ball 1. Not running. Strike over the outside, 1-1. Remember to vote for the Royals Player of the Month at one of the 7 Rally House locations in the Kansas City metro area. All participants will be entered to win a majestic prize pack. Gerard Dyson scored the go-ahead run in the 6th inning and then saved a run in the 8th inning. That throw to first tied up Hosmer.
Oh man, that's a big play by Haas. That ball gets by him, that's trouble. Haas just knocked it down.
On the ground, could be 2. Colon, Escobar, Hosmer, not in time. Hernandez got down the line.
Yeah, this kid Hernandez, we rave about this kid's ability, and he's kind of a utility type player, but he saved another out. A good hustle. He's not messing around. Looked to me like he beat it.
And just ran right through the bag. Didn't slide, didn't have a big leap toward the end.
Right.
Just ran through the bag like it wasn't even there. Hanley Ramirez comes off the bench to hit for Ryan Hannigan. Ramirez was 1 for 3 with a run scored last night. He is 1 for 5 against Wade Davis. Just about everybody here today standing for the final out. Fly ball center field. CAIN is back. He has room. The game is over.
Waiter, check please.
That ball carried a little more than I thought it was going to.
Made me a little nervous as well, but the waiter says, you know what, I got it all under control. Way to go, Royals, taking the series.
Gerard Dyson was big in the later innings. Wade Davis picks up the save. Brian Flynn gets his first major league win. And the Royals have won 3 consecutive games for the first time since April 15th.
And largely because of Gerard Dyson. Hey, that was a great handsy type swing that got him going in the 6th inning, a leadoff triple. Lorenzo Cain, with 1 out, is able to pick up the slack. And a sacrifice fly that will go down as his 6th game-winning RBI. And here it was. Dyson cuts down a would-be tying run, and on with a great throw, his 5th outfield assist of the year. Fantastic defense. The pitching and defense, timely hits. We saw all 3 tonight, or excuse me, in game 1 of this afternoon doubleheader. And fantastic action. Great crowd.
33,613, most of whom are waiting to hear from Jarrod Dyson down on the field with Joel.
Ryan, thank you very much. Jarrod Dyson, the star of the day. Let's go back. You can go dry off in a minute. Let's go back to that big play in the 8th inning. And you see Bogaerts, who has some speed, running. Take us through it, the thought process, and then a huge ovation afterwards.
Well, first off, I just had to field it clean and come up.
Let me get the ice off here. All right. So, sorry about that. Tell us about that play. It was a huge, huge moment in this game.
Well, it was a base hit through the hole. Guy got great speed. You know, I was just coming up, try to field it clean, and get a good throw to third.
That's it. How come he's mad at me and not Salvi? That's it. Salvi's leaving. He pumped his fist and he's gone. Okay, we were talking about that play.
Just come up to make a good throw.
Okay, we're looking at that play right now. It was a game changer, but also in the 7th inning, you have that big triple. We know how you are with the speed, and then CAIN follows with a huge sacrifice fly to be the difference. How challenging was all of that against the knuckleballer?
It's real challenging, you know, the knuckleballer. He had his ball moving real good today, and we just try to put good swings on him.
This is a Red Sox team that was as hot as anybody in baseball. You've won the first 2, a chance to sweep the series and sweep the doubleheader. What's changed for you guys this week coming back home?
You know, just try to get back playing Royal baseball. You know, we went through a bad stretch, but, you know, we keep fighting, and we'll break through it.
That speed was on display today.
That's what speed do.
Jarrod Dyson, everybody. And he has soaked with the water and the Gatorade. He'll go dry off. More baseball coming up.
All right, Joel, thank you. The Royals are above 500, 20-19, and at the moment, just 4 games back in the Central. Double dose